Hi guys, welcome back to my channel For Your Heart at Home. My name is Dee Dee. Welcome into my kitchen. Today I wanted to talk to you about this question that I get asked a lot, and the question simply is, when do you rest? So my quick and straightforward answer to that question is, because I follow a gentle schedule, there are lots of opportunities built into my day that allows for rest. And I plan to go through my schedule with you today so that I can share with you how I avoid overwhelm and how I'm able to use a gentle schedule to ensure my body is getting the rest that it needs so that I can be my best self for me and my best self for my family. In this video, I will be sharing what I will be making for dinner on this day. It was one of those days where I didn't have a lot to do in the kitchen, and so I decided to use the time to just make something a little bit more involved for dinner. So we are having a tropical fruit punch for dinner. I had half of a watermelon left over and some pineapples, so I decided to put that together to make a pineapple watermelon fruit punch. In addition to that, we're having some curry chicken with some steamed cabbage and codfish with some boiled dumplings. So this is what you'll see me working on throughout today's video while I talk to you about this idea of rest. Rest, as you know, is very important for everyone, and it's something that we should not take for granted, and it's something we should not confuse with laziness. Our bodies need rest. It's a biological function, and so if we neglect our bodies, then our bodies will break down. We will develop various diseases as a result, and that's not what our goal is. So today, let's talk about rest. As I've shared in previous episodes, I usually am up between the hours of 4 and 5. And I use that time to do my quiet time, my reading, my Bible work. I also use that time to do anything that is business related. So I'm working on YouTube videos, I'm editing, I'm also working on anything that's necessary for the business. So I'm answering emails or putting out posts, whatever it is that needs to get done for our digital media company. That's when I'm working on that during the hours of 4 and about 6:30 in the morning. It's a quiet time. I welcome this time. It's unhurried, it's uninterrupted time. And I really look forward to that time in the morning. By around 6:30, my husband is up for work, and so he's going through the motions of getting himself ready to go. Some mornings he'll stop to have breakfast, other times he won't, and so to help him along, I will probably make him a breakfast if he's in the mood for breakfast that day. We are not a coffee drinking family, so the coffee pot is not on. I'm not making coffee for myself or my husband in the morning. Like I shared before, sometimes I might have some tea, but that's usually reserved for the end of the day. So we're really just up and going as soon as our bodies are ready to go. Between the hours of 6:30 and 12-ish, that's the big chunk of our day. This is how I break up my time. So by usually around 7:30, my husband is out the door and our children are waking up for the day. And that's usually a time when I'm doing some kind of morning prep work. So usually on most days, I'll have something prepared already for breakfast, whether it's I batch cooked some pancakes and they're in the freezer. Maybe I made some cinnamon star bread and so there's leftovers. Usually there's something for breakfast, but if there isn't anything readily available for breakfast, then during those times is when I'm getting something going. For example, on this day when I'm recording this video, between the hours of 6:30 and 7:30 while my children were still asleep, I was able to make 2 loaves of sandwich bread, which I know will take an hour and a half to make, and by the time lunch comes around, the bread will be ready for making sandwiches for lunch. we didn't have anything ready to go for breakfast, and so we had some bananas on the counter, and I figured, hey, why not make a quick banana bread? And so for breakfast, we had banana bread with some scrambled eggs, and that was our meal for the morning. Now, when my children wake up, they know they need to get themselves cleaned up, get whatever chores they need to do in the morning, make their bed, and get themselves something to eat before we start homeschooling time. While they are in the motions of getting themselves ready to go, I'm usually doing some kind of major cleaning task for the day. So if you were going to follow my schedule, this would be a wonderful time to put a load of laundry in or get the bathroom cleaned up. That's something I like to do several times per week. We're a family of 5, and so the bathroom gets used a lot. And so 3 to 4 times a week, I'm in there wiping down, cleaning down, and keeping it nice and clean for the next person to use it. During this time of morning prep work is when I'm making sure I'm prepped for dinner. So on a day like today, when I know I had to do the voiceover for this video, like I said, made 2 loaves of bread for sandwiches for lunch. I made the banana bread for breakfast, and the day prior, I had made dinner of this curry chicken and steamed cabbage, and so I batch cooked that. That was more than enough food for one day, and so I knew I didn't have to make dinner on this day, which left me time to do other things. So once I was able to secure something for breakfast, once I was able to secure something for lunch, I knew my time in the kitchen for the rest of the day was pretty limited. There was not much else I would have to do. So during my morning work time, I'm taking care of anything that needs to get done right away. I need to make phone calls to businesses if I need to, again, attend to any kind of meal prep quickly, anything that can get done before 8 o'clock before we start homeschool time. So from 8 to 12 is when we do our major homeschooling work. I've shared before again that sometimes it runs over 12 o'clock, sometimes it ends way before 12 o'clock. It all depends on the day and what my children have to do. So that morning block of time is to get any quick tasks done, like cleaning the bathroom. Again, if you're able to, you can throw in a load of laundry. You can make sure that you are prepped for dinner. So if you haven't already done so, you can thaw some meat. You can get yourself into the mindset of saying, okay, this is what I have to do in the kitchen, and this is the time that I need to do so. So next is my afternoon block of time, and that's usually between about 12 and 5 p.m. So after homeschool time, we clean up and the children are off doing whatever it is that they want to do. If they want to read a book, they want to color, they want to draw. Sometimes we take a walk if the weather allows. Whatever it is that they want to do, they go off and they do that. My children are old enough now at 13, 9, and 7 where they can self-occupy. And so this is the time after school for them to go do their downtime, and whatever it is that they're drawn to do, that's what they do. For me, it's my time to finish up any kind of meal prep. If it's a day where I have to cook lunch or if I have to cook dinner, then I get into the kitchen and I get through with whatever meal prep that I need to finish up for the day. My husband is usually home around 4, and so by then dinner is usually ready and we're all sitting down to have dinner together. He has worked at least 17 years of his career in a place where it took him a very long time to get home. And so he would come home and dinner would have already been served, and I would usually wait to eat with him because usually the children just can't wait that long by the time he gets home. But he has recently in the last few years switched locations, and so now he's home sometimes before 3 o'clock, and we really are so happy with this change. Now we can sit down as a family at a reasonable hour and we can have a family meal together, something that I didn't realize I would lean into so much, but has really enriched our family life. So now that we're having dinner earlier in the day as a family, I can now get through with a lot of other things earlier in the day. So once dinner is over, sometimes the children will do dishes, sometimes I will do it, whatever the ebb and flow of the day is. We'll do the kitchen cleanup. So the kitchen cleanup is done by about 6:30 at night. Everything is put away, washed and put up. and we will have downtime once again. So on a typical day between 12 and 5, we're having downtime. The children are having their downtime. I'm in the kitchen. Once in a while, the kids will come in and they will help me with a task or two. But for the most part, I'm in the kitchen working and they are having downtime doing whatever it is that they want to do. And once my husband gets home, we'll sit down, we'll have dinner together, and then, we'll do a whole house cleanup. The afternoon time is also reserved for anything that we have to do outside of the home. So on a day when we have activities at the library or on days where we have errands to run, we usually do that after homeschool time. So after dinner, we will have our cleanup of the kitchen, and I kind of put the kitchen to bed, but not fully, because we eat dinner so early in the day. The expectation is that we're going to be hungry again before we head to bed, and so we usually have some kind of light snack before bed. But by the time we're having a light snack, we only have maybe a cup or two or a few dishes to wash, which is easy to do at the end of the night. So between 5 and 8 is family time. The kids are playing together. We might do some board games or card games. That's also a time where I kind of rest and I put my feet up, literally. I grab a book that I want to read. If the children are doing something that is off on their own and something that they want to do, then I take the time to do something that I want to do, which right now is reading. I shared in a previous video that I really enjoy reading, and now I'm really leaning into that. So after dinner, it's quiet time for everybody to really just do what they want to do. And again, some days, especially like Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, it's family time. We're playing board games, we're playing card games, we're watching a movie together, that kind of stuff. And by 8 o'clock, the kids have done their nighttime routine, taken their showers, brushed their teeth, that kind of stuff. Now, my kids are getting older and we do a gentle wake up in the morning for them. I don't do an alarm clock, so their bodies wake up naturally whenever they're ready to wake up. And because of this, we don't have a very strict bedtime. When they were much younger, I usually have a very strict bedtime. By 7:30, they were, showered and ready to get to bed by 8 o'clock. And we are more flexible now. And so once they have showered and brushed their teeth and taken care of those kinds of things, then we do some kind of nighttime downtime. Sometimes I will allow for some screen time, especially on the weekends. Sometimes I'll say, you know what, it's been a long day. We've spent a lot of time watching TV or playing video games. And so tonight we're going to have a gentler time getting to bed, and so we'll do some reading before bed or something. It all depends on what our day was like and what we did that day, how our nighttime routine plays out. But every night, everyone takes their shower, brushes their teeth, and then again, sometimes there's a bonus opportunity to watch a movie as a family. Sometimes we read as a family. Sometimes they choose to read on their own. And sometimes they're just so tired, it's just lights out and time for bed. By the time the children are in bed, I would say definitely 9 o'clock on. That's my time again to rest. So I value that nighttime routine, because if we stick to a nighttime routine and get through all the things we need to get to, that guarantees that I have time to do what I want to do. And this is something that I've been doing since they were babies. Since my oldest was a baby, I prioritized that nighttime block of time for me to do what I want to do, for me to spend time with my husband. And so that's something that we've held sacred for 13 years, and I don't think it's anything that we want to let go of. It's time that we look forward to. And so that's when I rest. That's when I get the time to decompress and figure out what I want to do, either with the rest of the day or make plans or do our check-in. And talk about our days, talk about something other than, childcare or what the house needs. It's just a sacred time for my husband, a sacred time for myself, and I really look forward to this block of time once the kids are in bed. And I know as my children get older, it might change, and so they're going to be more in charge of their bedtime and what happens. But for now, I look forward to and I cherish this time, this block of time, once they're in bed. And between their bedtime and my bedtime, that's when there's self-care for me. That's when I can just decompress and when I can just take time to do the things that I want to do. Something that I love doing, like I shared before, is reading. I also like crocheting, and I also like to be creative and draw and write. And so this is a time when I can really pour into myself and do the things that fill me up. So that's the general gist of a typical day, especially a day when we don't leave the house. So hopefully that answers the question of when do I rest? Rest is really important, and it's not to be confused with laziness. I'm a morning person, and so if I can get up and go really early, that gives me the afternoon to relax and unwind. I am very antsy. If I don't get certain things done by a certain time of the day, I just cross it off my list as, you know what, that's just not getting done today. That's how I respond to things. And so I am flexible in what gets done, but I can get a lot done if I just get up and go. So I like to think ahead. The night before, I might say, okay, if I need to, again, thaw meat, if I need to clean the bathroom, if I need to repair this chair, whatever it is that needs to be done, I like to think ahead and say, okay, I have this to do, so that once the day gets started, I know I have to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to fit it in here, here, and here. And so that's how I ensure that I keep sacred that block of time at the end of the day to really rest. And again, like I said, there are times in the day when I rest with my kids. So if it's a really short homeschooling day and I don't have much to do in the kitchen, hey, we might take time during the middle of the day to watch a movie together, to play a board game together, to draw, write, whatever it is that we want to do. And sometimes they just want to go do their own thing. So if they're doing their own thing and I don't have much to do in terms of cleaning, cooking, or taking care of the home, that's my opportunity for rest. And summer is a time when that happens quite frequently. And so we're all looking forward to the summer months. We are at the end of our curriculum for the school year. We hope to wrap things up by the end of May, but we might bleed into June, we might not. We started, I want to say, in September last year, which is slightly uncommon for us. I usually like starting in August because my husband is home. He's an educator as well. He's home in August, and when he's home, he's able to help me with especially getting the children set up for that beginning part of the year when we're all still figuring out this new curriculum. We're excited, but it might feel overwhelming that we have to do all these different things. So when he's home in August, he can help me get things right on track before he starts up in the fall. But I want to say that we started in the fall 2024. Because we started in September, we're kind of pushing it for when we're going to end. My oldest is getting ready for his assessments for the end of the year. My two younger children, they will have assessments as well, but those are assessments that I created. So hopefully that answers the question, when do you rest? There are opportunities throughout the day to sit, have a cup of tea, watch a movie, watch a show that I might be following, read, whatever it is that I want to do. There are plenty of opportunities throughout the day to do that, and I'm living and embracing this unhurried life this unbothered life. So quickly recapping, you saw me using watermelon and pineapple to make a tropical fruit punch for dinner. Then I went into making some cookies for dessert. I promise you guys, we're not eating cookies every day. I feel like almost every video shows me making cookies. I make cookies maybe once a week, but it just so happens to be on the day when I am filming. So I made some cookies for dessert this night, and then I went into making our dinner. So for dinner on this night, we were having some curry chicken with steamed cabbage and codfish, along with some boiled dumplings. I feel like this is a staple in many Jamaican households, but I'm not sure, could be wrong. And we haven't had this in a long time. The first thing you want to do is to remove as much of the salt that the meat was cured in prior to cooking. And so I soaked my cod in water, and then I boiled it on the stove for about 10 minutes to make sure that more salt was removed from the codfish before I used it. I then shredded my cabbage, I shredded my vegetables. For this, I was using carrots, bell peppers, and tomatoes. And then I steamed those together. I made some boiled dumplings to go along with the curry chicken and the steamed cabbage. And so here is what it looked like at the end of the night. You can see the dumplings are in the pot. This is my cabbage that was steamed, and the curry chicken is in the back, along with these delicious, delicious cookies. Thanks once again for joining in today, guys. Anything that you have a question about, feel free to leave a question down below and I will be sure to see it. I love answering viewer questions. So feel free to check the description box for the link to my blog over on Wix.com, where you can find meal ideas and recipes for free. Once again, thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.